But we came up with our own list of the 10 most. And again, this is all sports and college. We didn't do non-revenue sports because I think it's too hard to, you would put 20 U of A softball players on there if that was the case. And we not doing WNBA because for the longest time, well, I mean, let's just be honest. People weren't watching it. Nobody was really watching it. I get it. But here's where we're going to go with. We're going with our top 10 list right here, right now. Should we just put the list up there and then explain all of them?
Yeah, let's do it this way.
All right, here's where we got. This is the list that the people want right here. Randall McDaniel, we're giving a little bit of ASU love. We're going number 1 or number 10 right there. Sheer, there's not much to say. Multiple-time Outland Trophy winner, multiple first-team All-American. You could easily make the case that he's the most decorated ASU player ever.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, I almost don't think people recognize how much he did, even just at ASU. Super decorated, goes to the NFL, has a long, very, very successful career. To me, when we were discussing this list, I said he had to be in it at some point, and we agreed number 10 was fine.
All right, then the next one, we're going Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi was not on the list of the 25 best Arizona athletes. Teddy Bruschi left the U of A as the NCAA's all-time sack leader, was a key figure on a team that blasted Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Obviously, pro part doesn't count, but still went off to be a 3-time captain for 3 Super Bowl teams. Teddy Bruschi 100% belongs on this list. And again, if you lead the NCAA as the all-time sack leader, I have no problem putting it up there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to pretend like Arizona football has some long, illustrious history, but Bruschi is pretty much the first name that comes up when you talk about the best players in school history. He's a guy, like you mentioned, did it at both levels. It's crazy to think that he wouldn't be one of the top 25. I mean, top 10 is a lock.
Right. All right. Then the next one is the best ASU player that I've ever seen here at ASU. Was very, very good. Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs, I thought was too low on that list. Terrell Suggs is awesome. Rich Carrillo, I disagree with you there. He's ASU's all-time sack leader. Again, I know the pros doesn't count, but he's a first ballot Hall of Fame type. Terrell Suggs was an absolute animal.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's just one of these guys they just look different. Sack records. And yeah, I mean, he's just, he's one of these guys where you kind of, at least me, I appreciate him more as time goes on in terms of what he was able to do at that level.
All right. Now that's that's the top 3. Now we're going to get right here. We're going to get to number, let's go. Jacob Franklin, can you pull that list back up there again real quick? Thank you very much. All right. Now, we are going to go Steve Nash here at number 7. Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. I think one of those MVPs should have been Kobe's, but whatever. He did invigorate the Suns franchise. He got a lot of people money. You win 2 MVPs, you're on this list somewhere. That's where we're going right there, Sheer. We're going with Nash at number 7.
Yeah, there's nothing else to be said. Let's just go right to Bibby, our guy.
All right, Bibby. Bibby was curiously enough not on this list of the top 25. I'll quote the great Brian Jeffries. Brian Jeffries said that, in his opinion, if he had to take one player to start a game, that he would take Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby came here by any metric. This dude was the best high school basketball and football player in state history, led Arizona to a national championship, which almost nobody on this list has right here, especially those ASU guys, and just an absolute phenomenon. The most hyped player to ever come to the U of A. How he wasn't on that top 25 list is crazy to me, but Mike Bibby is an easy one for me there, Sheer.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy wins Pac-10 Freshman of the Year, right? The next year, he wins Player of the Year. Then he's the number 2 draft pick, right? I mean, come on. Like, he's literally – and then in high school, I didn't live in the state at the time. He's a legend, right? Like, just an absolute legend in terms of high school basketball.
He was the second best high school player in the country rated behind, this guy named Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is remarkable. And again, when you're looking at this list, we're looking at college pros, like he's from Arizona. I mean, it's just a situation where it's like, look, the guy, you could make an argument he should have been higher.
And you don't even like Mike Bibby.
I don't like Mike Bibby now, no.
All right. You don't even like Mike Bibby. So again, that's where Shears come in. What Mike Bibby has to be on that list. Jacob Franklin, one last time, if you could pull that list back up right there, because I like looking at it. It makes me feel good. Now, Luis Gonzalez, we're going at, I have no problem putting Luis Gonzalez at number 5 right there. The biggest hit in Diamondbacks history. You could make a case that he had a couple years where he was the second best player in baseball behind Barry Bonds. Luis Gonzalez was an easy one for me there as well, just because of his overall impact.
Yeah, I mean, if you the hit the World Series with the Diamondbacks, especially now looking back on it, yeah, I mean, he deserves to be up there for sure.
All right, now Sean Elliott. This is what people don't get. Sean Elliott, they had at 14. Sean Elliott is the most accomplished player in, I'm just going to say it, in-state history right here about the metrics that we were going with. He left the Pac-12 as the all-time leading scorer. He's the best player of the last 40 years in the conference. He put Arizona basketball, which is the most successful entity in state history, on the map. National Player of the Year. Sean Elliott was a very, very easy one there for me there, Sheer.
Yeah, I mean, he did everything you needed to do, right? Won an NBA title, was an all-star, has his number retired, won Player of the Year, AP Player of the Year, All-American, right. Multiple Pac-10. Like, what more should he have done? And at the high school level, he was a McDonald's All-American. He won a freaking gold medal with the U.S. national team. Like, he is as decorated as it gets. He's in the backyard of Tucson. Like, I mean, easy choice.
He is more impactful than Jake Plummer in the state's history. I am sorry to say that, but he just is right there. Now, after that, then Larry Fitzgerald, best player in Cardinals history. Got no problem putting him at 3. I think he's probably one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL history. Rice, Calvin Johnson, Jerry, and Randy Moss are my top 3, but he's somewhere right after that. Larry Fitzgerald was a very easy one.
Yeah, one of the greatest receivers of all time, best Cardinal. I mean, awesome dude. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Then we got Charles Barkley. Now, again, Charles Barkley had only one MVP, but in my opinion, Charles Barkley was the best player in Suns history at his peak. He was the second best player in the world behind Michael Jordan for a few years. And he was just a phenomenon. He was an icon. He was a guy that came in here and was just different immediately. He put Phoenix right back on the map. His thing is almost as big off the court as on the court, but Charles Barkley, a true phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of these guys where, like you mentioned, he didn't get the title, right? He only got the one MVP. Could have been more. There's a couple guys blocking him from winning MVPs. But it's almost like what he meant, like, to the entire franchise, right? When you say Phoenix Suns, it feels like it'll always be Charles Barkley,
right?
Who put the Suns on the map and all that. So to me, it's an easy choice. And then look, I mean, I know it's sports related, but his personality, he's larger than life type of personality. He's still big to these days. It's an easy choice.
All right, and then the last one, Randy Johnson. I have no problem with that. That's an easy one. You're on World Series team. You were the most dominant pitcher in baseball. Multiple Cy Youngs carried that team. Randy Johnson was an easy one for me.
Yeah, I mean, 10-time All-Star, won the World Series, was the MVP of the World Series, 5 Cy Youngs, 9-time strikeouts, perfect games, no hitters, all that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of you maybe could have had moved around the top 3 a little bit. But when we looked at it and we looked at Randy Johnson and what he accomplished, it was hard to move anyone past him.